Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
All persons not entitled to privileges of the floor under the rules of the Senate will now vacate the chamber.
Please rise for the invocation by the Rabbi Shlomo Litvin, Shabbat of the Bluegrass, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pray with me, please. O God and God of our fathers, great, mighty, and revered. God, we come before you today at the birth of a new moon on Rosh Chodesh. As the new moon shines down on all of us, we're reminded that the very name of Kentucky, the Commonwealth, that we all gather here as representatives of the people to do your will and to create just laws for all mankind. And as the moon is but a reflection of the light of the sun, we are reminded, as Lubavitch Rebbe taught, that government's role is to be a reflection of God here on earth, to pursue goodness because God is good, to pursue morals because God is moral, and to pursue kingliness because God is king. So I ask you, Lord, to lift up these senators here, representatives of the people. Bestow upon them your wisdom, bestow upon them your kindness, and strengthen them wherever they stretch out their hand on behalf of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. God, I ask your blessing today on this body, the Senate of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, wherever they stretch out their hand. Guide them, strengthen them, bless them together with all the inhabitants of Kentucky, and bring on your promised era of peace and goodwill towards all mankind. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, or Mr. Clerk, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg, Senator Boswell, Senator Carpenter, Senator Carroll, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Clemens, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Elkins, Senator Funke Fromeyer, Senator Girdler, Senator Givens, Senator Herron, Senator Higdon, Senator Howe, Senator Maiden, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Meredith, Senator Mills, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Nunn, Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Rawlings, Senator Reed, Senator Richardson, Senator Smith, Senator Stivers, Senator Storm, Senator Thomas, Senator Titchener, Senator Webb, Senator West, Senator Wheeler, Senator Williams, Senator Wilson, Senator Wise.
Any member seeking recognition for the purpose of answering the roll? None. There being 35 members present, quorum is declared. Senate's authorized and prepared to do business. First order of business would be excuse of absent senator. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that the absent senators be excused, please.
Without objection, the absent senators are excused. Next order of business will be approval of the journal. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that the journal from Friday, February 13th, 2026 be approved as written.
Without objection, the journal from Friday, February 13th, 2026 is approved as written. Next order of business, Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, thank you. We welcome any guests that are watching us live from KET as well as live stream. We have another 4-day week with yesterday the observance of the President's Day holiday, so we're looking forward this week to welcoming any guests that come to Frankfort as well as the business on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator from Taylor. Next order of business would be second reading of bills on the calendar, there being no need. Next order of business would be report of committees. Mr. Clerk.
The Families and Children's Committee has met and reports Senate Bill 191 should pass.
Does that conclude your report?
It does.
That bill has just received a favorable committee report and shall be considered as having its first reading and is now to be placed upon the calendar. Next order of business would be introduction of new bills and resolutions, but prior to that, Chair would recognize the Senator from Grayson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Clerk of the House is here to communicate with our Senate.
Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the House has passed House Bills 264, 293, 379, 448, 459, 526, and respectfully request concurrence with this honorable body.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Now we'll go on to introduction of new bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, please report.
New bills and resolutions. Senate Bill 203, an act relating to community health workers, Senator Richardson. Senate Resolution 102, resolution honoring Marie Childers for her service as the longest-serving Republican member of the Pike County Board of Elections, Senator Wheeler. Senate Resolution 103, resolution recognizing and honoring the children of military families on Military Kids Day, February 19th, 2026, Senator Deneen. And Senate Resolution 104, resolution adjourning the Senate in honor and loving memory of the incomparable Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., Senator Neal.
Mr. Clerk, does that conclude your report?
It does.
Thank you, sir. Next order of business is orders of the day, but prior to going to orders of the day, Senator from Taylor, do you have a motion?
Mr. President, I do. Upon the call of the chair, the majority party will caucus in the room immediately to my right. I'm not sure if there's a room number for that, Mr. President, but the room immediately to the right of the floor, the majority party will caucus.
Senator Fayette, 13.
Mr. President, upon recess, the Democratic caucus will meet in the room adjacent to us right across the hall, to our left. That's all I can tell you. It doesn't have a room number.
So all members take note. We have no room numbers, but we have adjacent rooms, and that's where we'll meet. So with that, Senator from Taylor, you have a motion.
I do, Mr. President. I move that the caucus recess for a meeting of the caucus meetings, please.
This body shall be in recess until call of the chair for the aforementioned caucus meetings. Body shall come to order. Chair is going to recognize the clerk for a report of new bill filings. Mr. Clerk, please report.
We have several new bills. Senate Bill 50, an act relating to the disposition of property, Senator Storm. Senate Joint Resolution 105, joint resolution designating the Gary Lee Eggleston Memorial Highway in Menifee County, Senator Elkins. Senate Resolution 106, resolution adjourning the Senate in honor and loving memory of Bias Sidney Tilford Sr., Senator Neal. Senate Resolution 107, a resolution recognizing and honoring Rudy William Grant, Consul General of Barbados, and welcoming him to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Senator Neal. Senate Resolution 108, resolution adjourning the Senate in honor and loving memory of Dr. Tom Shelton, Senator Thomas.
Does that conclude your report?
It does.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Senator from Taylor, orders of the day.
Mr. President, as we wait the orders to be displayed, there they are. With that, Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 141 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, if you would please report Senate Bill 141.
Senate Bill 141, an act relating to legal advertisements, Senator Givens.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I yield to the Senator from Green for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Green.
Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 141 for consideration by this body. This is one of those rare occasions that maybe happens once a session or every other session or so, when we have a long-standing, rather vexing, reoccurring issue that keeps coming up, and once upon a time, or once ever so often, those issues will actually resolve themselves, and this is a celebration of that resolution. Senate Bill 141 deals with legal advertising. In statute, we require in multiple places our city and county governments produce legal notices. For years, that was done in newspapers. Now some of that's done online, but we still have a publication requirement for legal advertisements. We've got this desire for the public to know what government is doing, and that's a very solid, very worthwhile desire. It goes to an informed electorate. It goes to a transparent governing system. At the same time, rightfully so, our local newspapers require funding to operate, and they charge for advertising. So we've got this conflict between the desire to have notice published and the cost of publishing that notice. Over the years, we've gone back and forth about the need to be more transparent, less transparent. We've rarely waffled, though, in our desire to spend less tax money. And so finding that balance is what Senate Bill 141 skillfully does. Over the course of the interim, the Kentucky Press Association sat down with the Kentucky League of Cities and the Kentucky Association of Counties and came to resolution around what legal advertising requirements should be, what the cost of that advertising should be. In essence, that cost, as written in the legislation, is going to be at the lowest advertising rate offered to anyone else. So we're protecting taxpayers' interests while we're maintaining transparency and legal notice, and we're moving into the new age where there's this thing called the internet. Newspapers have long had conflict, understandably so, in a changing industry with the decline of published newspapers and physical reading of newspapers. That industry is a vital industry, though, and having an informed electorate and an informed public is crucial to us sustaining this ongoing experiment in self-governing that we call democracy. So I'm thrilled to present for our body to consider Senate Bill 141 that strikes that balance, and would gladly entertain any questions anyone may have. At this time, I do move for passage of Senate Bill 141.
The matter before the body is passage of Senate Bill 141. Seeing no one seeking recognition, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funke Fromar. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howe. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemus. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers. Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Titchener. Senator Webb. Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
How is an aye? Any member seeking recognition to cast, change, or explain their vote? There being 36 yeas, 1 nay, Senate Bill 141 is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 69 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report Senate Bill 69.
Senate Bill 69, an act relating to the Autism Spectrum Disorder Trust Fund and declaring an emergency. Senator Rocky Adams.
Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I yield to the senator from Jefferson 36 for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Jefferson 36.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm pleased to present Senate Bill 69 today, which has been developed to support our children, adults, families, and caregivers who have been impacted by an autism spectrum disorder. Every one of us here today has either been directly affected or knows someone who has been directly affected by an autism spectrum disorder. According to the latest CDC report, the current prevalence rate for autism is 32.2 per 1,000. That's 1 in every 31 in children at 8 years of age. And prevalence rates have gradually been increasing over the years. So in addition, about 40% of children identified with autism spectrum disorder also have a co-occurring intellectual disability. And a significant number also present with other comorbidities, including seizures, mental illness, and delays in adaptive functioning and communications. There is no denying that the need for additional services, supports, and research is necessary to better identify, prevent, and serve individuals and families who are affected by autism. As many of you all are aware, the General Assembly receives multiple funding requests from around the state each session to support autism services. Senate Bill 69 acknowledges each one of these very worthy requests by establishing an Autism Spectrum Disorder Trust Fund, which is modeled after our Pediatric Cancer Trust Fund, and provides an opportunity for individuals to contribute toward autism services, supports, and research. Section 1 of the bill allows individuals to contribute their tax refunds to the trust fund. Section 2 establishes the Autism Spectrum Disorder Trust Fund within the state treasury and requires the fund to be administered by the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. Section 3 requires the Advisory Council on Autism Spectrum Disorders within the Cabinet for Health and Family Services to administer the trust fund through a competitive grant process. Grants will be based upon a comprehensive needs assessment for autism spectrum disorder research and services. And lastly, Section 4 is an emergency clause. So, Mr. President, I'm happy to entertain any questions, but if there are no questions, then I move for passage of Senate Bill 69.
The matter before the body is passage of Senate Bill 69. Seeing no one seeking recognition, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg, Senator Boswell, Senator Carpenter, Senator Carroll, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Clemens, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Elkins, Senator Funke Fromeyer, Senator Girdler, Senator Givens, Senator Herron, Senator Higdon, Senator Howe, Senator Maiden, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Meredith, Senator Mills, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Nunn, Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Rawlings, Senator Reed, Senator Richardson, Senator Smith, Senator Stivers, Senator Storm, Senator Thomas, Senator Titchener, Senator Webb, Senator West, Senator Wheeler, Senator Williams, Senator Wilson, Senator Wise. Hal is an aye. Okay.
Any member wishing to cast, change, or explain their vote? Seeing none, there being 37 yeas, no nays, Senate Bill 69 is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 9 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title only, and placed upon its passage.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report Senate Bill 9.
Senate Bill 9, an act relating to housing districts. Senator Mills.
Senator from Taylor.
President, I yield to the Senator from Henderson for explanation of the bill.
Senator from Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill 9 has a committee sub, so if you could have the clerk report the sub on Senate Bill 9.
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report Senate Committee Substitute Number 1.
Senate Committee Sub 1 to Senate Bill 9.
Senator from Henderson.
Move adoption.
The matter before the body is adoption. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Senate Committee Substitute Number 1 is adopted. Senator from Henderson.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, Senate Bill 9 is kind of a culmination of 2 years' worth of work, and the body's going to see several housing initiatives come through this body over the next several weeks related to regulatory changes and maybe asking for some money in the budget and some other things related to housing. And our number one goal for the last 2 years has been to get more housing built, housing units built in the state of Kentucky. Currently, we're a little over 200,000 housing units short. If we do not do anything different from what we're doing right now, in 5 years, the statistics tell us we're going to be almost 300,000 units short. So, Mr. President, we need to build housing units and houses in the state of Kentucky if we want to continue to grow. We're doing all this good work related to lowering our income tax and all the good work in our budgeting process to get more people to move and make Kentucky their home, but they've got to have a place to call home. So Senate Bill 9 puts two tools in the hands of local government that will help local governments negotiate with their developers and help make housing, hopefully, more plentiful in the state of Kentucky. So tool number 1 is called a Residential Infrastructure Development District, and the goal of this tool is to help get infrastructure in the ground and more building lots available for home building. This district is established by local governments with the approval of property owners. Within this district, the developer can submit a plan requesting certain needed infrastructure. The tool gives local governments power to issue bonds to pay for the needed infrastructure in the developer's approved plan and to levy a special assessment against all properties created in the district until the bonds are paid off. The project must be at least 5 acres in size, and the total capital cost to complete the development at $5 million or more. This tool will help housing development stalled by high infrastructure costs get moving and should lower the total cost of the home or mortgage. The second tool in Senate Bill 9 is called a housing development district. The goal of this tool is to help local governments negotiate with local developers to help kickstart housing development with an annual housing incentive payment based on future property tax revenue. This district is established by local government and shall not be more than 1,000 acres. Within the district, a developer can submit a project for at least 15 housing units. During the approval process, the local government will be able to negotiate with the developer an annual housing incentive payment based on a percentage of the total property tax collected the preceding year from each of the participating taxing districts. The length of these incentive payments shall not exceed 7 years on new construction and 15 years on rehabilitations. Within the district, the local government could exempt projects from permitting or set up an expedited planning review process. Mr. President, this tool should also, once again, help local governments incentivize the type of housing needed in their community. It will encourage developers to start more housing development or projects, and these incentive payments should help lower the total cost of housing units developed within the district. In closing, Senate Bill 9 gives local governments tools to get aggressive in recruiting new housing into their community, and I believe it's going to help make a dent in our housing shortage in Kentucky. So, Mr. President, I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I would move for passage of Senate Bill 9 as amended by Senate Committee Sub 1.
The matter before the body is passage of Senate Bill 9 as amended by Senate Committee Substitute Number 1. Seeing no one seeking recognition, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Carpenter. Senator Carroll. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Clemens. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Elkins. Senator Funke Fromeyer. Senator Girdler. Senator Givens. Senator Herron. Senator Higdon. Senator Howell. Senator Maiden. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Meredith. Senator Mills. Senator Neal. Senator Nemus. Senator Nunn. Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Rawlings. Senator Reed. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith. Senator Stivers.
Aye.
Senator Storm. Senator Thomas. Senator Titchener. Senator Webb.
Senator from Carter, please cast your vote, then explain.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to commend the sponsor for addressing this crucial issue and the work he's done on his task force. And I would just say that as a chairman of the disaster task force, that we might need to be mindful when we're looking at housing on siting requirements, and especially when it pertains to infrastructure, in averting more disaster or throwing good money after bad in rehabilitation of those projects. And I think that's something that we can all do together. And I would urge that perhaps the House would look at this and allow us to move forward in that light. But I enthusiastically vote yes.
Senator West. Senator Wheeler. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson. Senator Wise.
Any members seeking recognition to cast change or explain their vote? Seeing none, there being 35 yeas, 2 nays, Senate Bill 9 as amended is passed. Senator from Taylor.
Mr. President, that concludes the orders of the day.
Thank you, Senator from Taylor. Next order of business would be a meeting of the Rules Committee and Committee on Committees. Senator from Taylor, do you have a motion?
Yes, sir. Mr. President, I move that the Senate recess for a meeting of the Rules Committee and Committee on Committees at the clerk's desk, please.
This body shall be in recess until call the chair. Body shall come to order. Next order of business is report of committees. Mr. Clerk, please report.
The Rules Committee has met and reports that Senate Bill 125 has been recommitted to Appropriations and Revenue. The Committee on Committees has met and referred the following bills and resolutions to Economic Development, Tourism, and Labor, Senate Bill 19 and Senate Bill 197, to the Education Committee, Senate Bill 101, to Judiciary, Senate Bill 50, to Natural Resources and Energy, Senate Bill 178, and Senate Concurrent Resolution 66, to Transportation Committee, Senate Joint Resolution 97 and Senate Joint Resolution 99, and to the Senate floor, Senate Resolutions 98, 100, 101, 102, and 104, and to the Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection Committee, Senate Resolution 103.
Does that conclude your report?
It does.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business is motions, petitions, resolutions, Communications and announcements. Senator from Pike.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could you please have the clerk report Senate Resolution 102 and read it in its entirety?
Mr. Clerk, if you would, please report Senate Resolution 102 and read it in its entirety.
Senate Resolution 102, resolution honoring Marie Childers for her service as the longest-serving Republican member of the Pike County Board of Elections. Whereas Marie Childers served as the Republican member of the Pike County Board of Elections for over 36 years until her retirement in 2026. Whereas, according to records maintained by the Kentucky State Board of Elections, Marie Childers is likely the longest-serving Republican member of a county board of elections in Kentucky history. Whereas Marie Childers is a lifelong Republican, known as the Grand Dame of Pike County Republican Party, served as the past chairman of the Pike County Republican Party, and through her 8 decades of hard work on behalf of the Republican Party, has steadfastly upheld the values of the Party of Lincoln, including the right of every American to enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas, in her capacity as the Republican member of the Pike County Board of Elections, Marie Childers has worked in a bipartisan manner with both Republicans and Democratic state and county officials to ensure the integrity of the ballot for the voters of Pike County. Whereas Marie Childers, through her service as the Republican member of the Pike County Board of Elections, has served as a role model for men and women of all ages, and the amazing growth of the Pike County Republican Party is a living testament to her lifetime of hard work to advance conservative Christian values and free and fair elections. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the General Assembly of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Senate honors Marie Childers for her years of exceptional service, leadership, and integrity as the longest-serving Republican member of the Pike County Board of Elections, and her impressive contributions to the astounding growth of the Pike County Republican Party.
Senator from Pike.
Speak to the resolution, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. For those of us from Pike County who have grown up Republican, Marie Childers is a living legend. I first became acquainted with Marie when I was a teenager in high school. At that time, she had already served several years on the Pike County Board of Elections as the Republican member. And Mr. President, at that time, it was a very different Pike County. We had, when I registered to vote at 18, I was lucky if I know I'd get a vote for Hal every 2 years and, president every 4 years. But other than that, we never had a local race except for a few outliers where we got to vote because everything was decided in the Democratic primary in May. Mr. President, this last election cycle, I think that we have only have 5 Democrats file for any office in all of Pike County. There is no Democratic candidate for county judge. In one district, magisterial district alone, there are 9 Republican candidates running. Both of our candidates for Pike County Sheriff are Republican. 7 out of the 8 candidates for Pike County Jailer are Republican. It has truly been a transformation that I never really thought as a young conservative that I would see happen, but one that obviously warms my heart. In fact, I think I stand here in this body today as an example of that transformation. When I was elected in 2019, I was the first Republican in 53 years to hold the seat. But, none of us came out of a vacuum. The Pike County Republican Party today is a result of decades of hard work. And a lot of this work, frankly, was done by women. Much of the growth of the Pike County Republican Party was led by the Republican Women's Club. And I was fortunate in my youth that many of these folks were still alive. Velma Childers, Marie Childers, Bobby Rasnick, Joan Potter. These women have really stood as titans in Pike County for the representation of conservative values, the fight for life, many of the things that we have accomplished as a legislature. But Marie Childers has really stood above all. Not only has she fought, for her party, she's fought to have free and fair elections in Pike County. I said, based on our search of the records, we know she served at least 36 years. We actually think it's probably closer to 50 years as the Pike County Republican election officer. She is currently a proud 96 years of age. And as many things, everybody slows down just a little bit. But Marie never slowed down. But the last year she has decided of her own will that it's time to turn that chapter over to a new generation. And my gosh, what is she handing them? Look at the accomplishment that she is handing them from their service. Pike County will be a Republican county for the first time since the 1920s by the middle of this year. At one time, it was a Democratic bastion in which any Republican running on a local level never had a chance. Ronald Reagan lost it both times. It really is a changed place politically, and much of that change is due to Marie Childers. Going back to my time in high school, I can still remember the first campaign I was really involved in was Hal Rogers' campaign in 1992. And it was kind of a tough one because he was running against a local Democrat by the name of John Doug Hayes. I'm sure our Sergeant-at-Arms knew Mr. Hayes. He was actually a pretty good guy and actually became a Republican later in life. But it was a very hard-fought race. In fact, probably the last one our beloved congressman had that was somewhat close. I think he defeated him by approximately 10 points. But in our high school civics class, the teacher had sent down for a sample ballot. And I guess whoever went down to get the ballot ran into Marie, and when he came back to class, he said, here, the woman down at the courthouse handed me this and told me to give you this too. It was a pretty good right to life flyer that had a good explanation of where the National Party stood on things and where Hal Rogers stood on things and where his local opponents stood on things. It did create a little bit of consternation, but that was just Marie. You don't have to worry about her speaking your mind. This coming Saturday, we're having our Pike County Republican Party breakfast in Pike County, and during that Saturday, we are honoring Marie for all of her service in her capacity as the Pike County election officer. She is not only going to be recognized by this body, but Senator Mitch McConnell, Congressman Andy Barr, Congressman Hal Rogers, and a host of other officials who have, for her service to both her party and her state. And for that reason, I thought that this body should know about her great contributions, not only to the landscape of Pike County, but to the electoral landscape of our Commonwealth. And for that reason, I would appreciate all of my colleagues here in this august body voting in favor of the resolution to honor this wonderful, wonderful lady. Thank you.
Of the resolution. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Senator from Jefferson 33, you were in my queue at one time. Are you still seeking recognition at a later time? Okay. Senator from Grayson.
Call announcements, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Health Services Committee will meet tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in room 129. We'll hear a presentation from Dr. Stack on Rural Health to Transition Grant, and we'll act on one bill. Second announcement, also for Health Services Committee. Next week, we will have a special called committee meeting upon adjournment of this body to hear a presentation on Rural Health Transitional AI Care Model. The reason we're doing this separately, it'll take about an hour to hear the presentation. Promise you it won't be any longer than that, but when we get the date and time, we will get that confirmed for you. But just wanted to give you that heads up, President. So, thank you, Mr. President.
Members, please take note. Senator from Bullitt,
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement.
please proceed.
The Senate, State, and Local Government will meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock in room 131.
Members, please take note. Senator from Bourbon,
Co-sponsorship request, Mr. President.
please continue.
With permission of the primary sponsor, I move to be added as a co-sponsor to Senate Bill 71. I have the appropriate paperwork.
Please file the same without objection. So ordered. Senator from Hardin,
Co-sponsorship, Mr. President.
please continue.
With the permission of the primary sponsor, I move to be added as co-sponsor of Senate Bill 156 and Senate Bill 69, and I have the proper paperwork.
Please file the same without objection. So ordered. Senator from Christian,
Announcement, Mr. President.
please continue.
Tomorrow, the Kentucky Podiatric Medical Association will be hosting lunch in Annex Room 125, starting at 11:30 a.m.
Thank you, Senator from Christian. Senator from Perry,
I rise for two purposes, if I may, Mr. President. I want to be shown as recording a vote. I've filed the proper paperwork, and it does not affect the outcome.
without
And for the
objection,
second
so ordered.
part, thank you. I want to communicate with the body. Natural Resources will be meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. in room 129 in the annex.
Members, please take note. Senator from Jefferson 33.
Mr. President, would you ask the clerk to report Senate Bill 71? Senate Resolution. I'm wrong. Senate Resolution 104.
Mr. Clerk, would you please report Senate Resolution 104?
By title only.
By title only.
Senate Resolution 104, resolution adjourning the Senate in honor and loving memory of the incomparable Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.
Senator from Jefferson 33.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Senate members, I would have asked that that resolution be read in its entirety, but we would have been here a long time if I had done that. And the reason that would have been the case is because the gentleman that resolution's referencing is an individual that has a long history, that's had given great contribution to the United States of America and indeed the world, because his impact was not only national, it was also international. So today we pause to honor the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson, a servant leader whose work was rooted in faith and guided by a deep belief in the dignity of every human being. Reverend Jackson believed that justice must be visible in the everyday lives of people, in access to education, in economic opportunity, and in the fair treatment of all. His ministry was not confined to the pulpit. It extended into communities where hope was thin and into spaces where power too often overlooked the marginalized. He believed that every person, regardless of background, deserved to be seen, heard, and valued. That conviction shaped decades of advocacy on behalf of working families and underserved communities. Reverend Jackson challenged the nation to measure itself not by comfort, but by conscience. Not by what is convenient, but by what is right. His work reminded us that humanity is strengthened when we widen the circle of opportunity and when we refuse to leave anyone behind. He modeled persistence. He modeled moral clarity. He modeled a faith that required action. As we reflect on his life, we recognize that his impact
reaches far beyond any single movement or moment. It lives on in those who continue the work of building a more just and compassionate society. May we honor his memory by recommitting ourselves to fairness, equal treatment under the law, and the enduring work of uplifting one another. That being said, unless others wish to speak, I would move adoption of Senate Resolution 104.
The matter before the body is adoption of the resolution. Seeing no one seeking recognition on this resolution. Oh, wait a minute. That's what I want to make sure of. Senator from Bullitt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to talk for the resolution.
Please proceed.
I had the fortune of meeting Jesse Jackson a couple of years ago when we had protests in Louisville and around the nation, pretty violent. And he was at wasn't a press conference, but the press was there. And they kept trying to get him to say things that he was a man that said what he wanted to say to get out in the press instead of being brought into something he didn't want to be brought into. He talked about how this country has come a long way since the 60s, the protests of that time. And he talked about things that needed to be done from now till moving forward. And his biggest issue was housing. And he, along with me, agree that housing is not just put in an apartment in low-income housing, it's to get a house that you can afford. And he pushed that even when he was questioned over and over and over again about something they wanted to corner him into, and he would not take the bait. So afterwards, a few people said, it just shows how out of tune he is and how old he is and doesn't understand the gravity of what's going on. And I said, I think the opposite. I think that he's very smart and he knows how to push the issue that is the big issue of the day and stay with one thing and one thing to move forward with and not get into the minutia of today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other members seeking recognition on this resolution? Senator from Perry.
Yes, Mr. President, I rise to speak to the resolution. Reverend Jesse Jackson, I got a chance to meet him in Hazard, Kentucky. He not only came once, he came twice because he knew the cooking was good. He came to a little place called Bailey's. It was half part of it was a tire service center and the other part had home-cooked breakfasts. And he came down, and I remember a bunch of us students went down, and I don't think we really knew what to expect. We knew he was a dynamic character and was running for something other, but our view of politics is, kind of local. But he was really funny and jocular with us and cut up with us. I remember he leaned out through the door and kind of gave me a fist pump and seemed like a very fascinating individual. Of course, we watched him go on through the media and the rest of his life, but I noticed as he passed, I thought about the day that I saw him the last time there at Bailey's Tire Center in Hazard, Kentucky, and I appreciate the fact that he took the time, as a few have, not many, to come into Eastern Kentucky as a black man and come in there and put his arms around people and stuff like that. And that kind of meant something important to me. I thought that says maybe a little bit about him for those of you that never got a chance to meet him. But I thought it'd be a wasted moment for me not to share that with you, that he came not only once, but twice into our area and was well received. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other member on this resolution? Senator from Carter.
Thank you, Mr. President. As a senator from Perry County, just recollected, this morning I was scrolling through Facebook and one of our former Hazard police officers, Homer Whitson, had posted a picture and about how he got to meet Mr. Jackson in Hazard. And I too, it brought back a lot of memories because I was in Hazard at that time. And I too had the opportunity to go there and hear him speak and talk and interact. And it was very impressive, and I appreciate him through the years and just love and comfort to the Jackson family and all who loved him. Thank you.
Senator from Jefferson 35 on this resolution, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remember being a young child and being at home and seeing Reverend Jesse Jackson on TV, and I never thought that I would have an opportunity to meet such giant as he was and what he has done for our nation. And it wasn't until I was elected into this body when I was in the House, and over the last few years, I actually had an opportunity to meet and engage with him twice over the last couple of years. And as someone who is young-ish into my political career in doing this work, it is almost a loss for words for this moment in time, for me to be here on the Senate floor, but then to also know and understand where we are in our nation. And what I would like to remind this body as we think about the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson is also let's remember the words that he spoke, the things in which he dedicated his life to, of making life better for all individuals, and to bringing people together. And so today we mourn this giant, and I send my sincere condolences to the Jackson family. Thank you.
Seeing no other members seeking recognition on this resolution, I'll come back to the senator from Jefferson 33. Any final remarks?
No, Mr. President, only to renew the motion to adopt.
The matter for the body is adoption of the resolution. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. Senator from Campbell.
Yes, to address the body.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, tomorrow is Ash Wednesday, and we will have an Ash Wednesday service here at the Annex that will be hosted in room 171, and it will take place at noon. We did move the time from 11:30, but it will be at noon tomorrow in 171.
Members who wish to partake, please make note. Senator from Warren.
Co-sponsorship, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
With permission, primary sponsor, I move to be added as co-sponsor of Senate Bill 71 and have the appropriate paperwork.
Please file the same and without objection so ordered. Senator from Jefferson 33.
Co-sponsorship, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
With permission of the primary sponsor, I move to be added as co-sponsor of Senate Bill 71. Have the proper paper.
Please file the same without objection so ordered. I have the senator from Pike in the queue. I don't know. I know I erased him once, but not sure if he accidentally did anything or not. But I don't see him on the floor. If he wishes to seek recognition, we'll suspend rules and return to him at the appropriate time. Seeing no other members seeking recognition under this order of business, next order of business would be introduction of floor amendments. Mr. Clerk, do you have a report? Please report.
Senate Floor Amendment 1 to Senate Bill 52 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Thomas. Senate Floor Amendment 2 to Senate Bill 52 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Thomas. Senate Floor Amendment 3 to Senate Bill 52 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Thomas. And Senate Floor Amendment 4 to Senate Bill 52 with Senate Committee Sub 1, Senator Thomas.
Does that conclude that report?
It does.
Do you have any new bills or resolutions?
I do.
Please report.
Senate Bill 204, an act relating to the protection of children, Senator Carroll. Senate Bill 205, an act relating to election officers, Senator Clemens. Senate Resolution 109, a resolution recognizing March 2nd, 2026 as Read Across America's Day, Senator West.
Mr. Clerk, does that conclude your report?
That's it.
No other bills, resolutions, or floor amendments to report? Then there is one matter left before this body, and that's adjournment. But prior to that, seeing no one seeking recognition, Senator from Taylor, do you have a motion?
Mr. President, I move that the Senate adjourn until 2 p.m. Wednesday, February 18th, year of our Lord, 2026.
Without objection, this Senate shall stand adjourned to the hour of 2 p.m. Wednesday, February 18th, year of our Lord, 2026.